Well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the 2013 Victorian Tourism Awards Preparatory Workshop in Melbourne. We've ran 4 of these across the state so far, so this is number 5. So welcome to you all today. We've got a great session for you set up, and we've got a great panel here to hopefully be able to answer some of your questions when it comes to entering the Tourism Awards this year. So today's session is really about engaging you all here today. If you have any questions, please ask them at any stage. Please interrupt me as we do go through the day. I know the panel will be interrupting me at certain sections when I do either miss something or if they've got a hot tip they want to give away. So they are really here today to be utilised by you all. So let's try and make this as much of an interactive session as we possibly can. Before we get underway, my name is Chris Porter from VTIC, and I've been running these Tourism Awards workshops across the state. So if you have any questions in relation to the Tourism Awards workshops or the mentoring program, feel free to come and ask me or get in contact with me, and my contact details are within your notes and things, and we'll get to that slide a bit later on in the day anyway. Now, I'm not the expert when it comes to the Tourism Awards by any stretch of the imagination, so wherever I go I do pack a swagger of industry experts with me that have the experience and necessary skills to hopefully get you across the line, hopefully give you some extra tips that will either get you into a finalist category or even get you across to winning at the state level, and hopefully also winning at the national level. So with you, we might start down on the far right hand side. We have Tom Stafford from Holmes Glen Institute of TAFE. He has been involved in the awards program since 1989, he was telling me. He's been a previous winner. He's judged for 1 year, and in that year he was the deputy judge, and he's had 4 years as a mentor, so plenty of experience. Sitting next to Tom, we have Michelle Campbell, who's owner of Mink. Past entrant with the Mansion Hotel, resulted in 3 successive wins and a Hall of Fame award. 3 years as a judge, and this is her 6th year as a mentor, and is the chair of mentors this year. So thanks, Michelle. Again, lots of experience. Vincent Cadelli, I'm sure I got that wrong, sorry Vincent. Tourism consultant, past entrant for 1 winner, and has been involved as a judge for the past 2 years, and he's judging again this year. So again, lots of experience. And sitting here on the end, last but not least by any stretch of the imagination, is my colleague Melinda Anderson from VTIC. She has been involved with 9 winning entries. 1 or 2 every day. It seems to go up when I talk to Melinda, but 2 have won at national levels. There'll probably be 3 by the time we hold the next presentation. But again, lots of great industry experience that we have for you today. Who else do I need to mention? I also need to mention Kerry. I'm going to invite Kerry up here to the podium now to give a short welcome on behalf of Tourism Victoria. So thanks, Kerry.
I'd just like to welcome everybody for coming today. Really appreciate you taking the time to come to the Melbourne workshop. I'm sure you'll find it very beneficial and informative, and ask any questions you like. There are no silly questions or anything like that. Make the use of all the wealth of information on the panel and in the room.
So why are we here today? A bit of an agenda, so you can just sort of see what we're actually going through. We cover off why to enter, some of the key dates, categories and changes, rules of entry. We talk a bit about site inspection and what judges are looking for. We cover off most of those in the first 45 minutes of the presentation, and then the second half, I suppose, is more of an in-depth analysis of each of the individual questions for you. And this is where the judges and mentors can really come into their own and actually give you those insider tips really to what you should be doing and what you should be looking at throughout your submission process. So, reasons why to enter. The judging occurs in the 19th of August through to October, and that's both the reading of the submissions and then the site visits. Individual submissions, so if you're submitting an individual submission for someone that you know, that's the 26th of September. And then again, we've already discussed the important VTA Gala ceremony. So entering the awards this year, we'll quickly just go through the process. For those of you who haven't gone through the process before, you pretty simply log into the Victorian Tourism Awards website, end up on a landing page here, which at the very top of the page has an e-awards porthole. You click on that and actually takes you through to the nomination page. Before you go any further than nominating, you can actually download all of the categories. So you can actually download all the questions, individual categories that you might want to look at. You might be entering 1, 2, 3 different categories, or it might just be the one. So you can actually work out which category you best fit into. So under the categories tab there, you can actually download all those. So just another mentor tip for first timers, especially for those businesses thinking of submitting for the first time, you need to ensure you have the dedicated resources to complete the submission. Write with passion, measure your success, and always bring back your answers to tourism. The rigour of submission is an excellent way to reflect on what your business has done and should be doing. Research has shown that winning an award equates to additional business, so why wouldn't you want to enter? So just a bit of a quick overview of the categories and some of the new things we'll go over the next 2 slides. So there's 29 business categories. 3 of those, then there's 3 individual categories on top of that. So outstanding contribution by volunteers, outstanding contribution by an individual, and then the Young Achievers Award. I think majority of you are probably doing one of the 29 business categories. And there are 2 state or territory specific awards. So these are the only 2 categories which actually don't go up to the national level. They're still in a pilot stage. One of those is the Health and Wellbeing Tourism category, number 28, and then the Excellence in Food Tourism category, number 29. The Excellence in Food Tourism category is actually a new category for this year. It's a pilot award, Excellence in Food Tourism, and it has simplified questions and is only over 15 pages as to the normal 30 pages. So some rules for entry. You have to enter the category that best reflects your core business. Question 1A really is your opportunity to explain why you're actually entering that category and your eligibility for that category. So make sure you do demonstrate it and you make sure you do enter the category that best suits your business. If you're unsure about which category you should be entering, best people to talk to is either probably Kerry in the first instance or Nicole. So if you're not sure today, speak to either Nicole or Kerry. But in future reference, give Kerry a call. Her details are provided at the end and she's more than happy to answer those queries in relation to that. But probably one of the most important things in the rules of entry are the formatting requirements. They are pretty strict, they are audited, and you can lose points if you don't follow the correct rules. The main points is it is actually a 30-page submission, plus your contents page and a cover page. So 30 pages of writing only, not 30 and 1 sentence over, it's 30 pages. Formatting of the font as well, you need size 12 font, not 11 and 0.9, it needs to be 12. Happy for you to probably go over, but that means you're going to have less space to write. So probably hang on to the 12. And the line spacing as well needs to be 1.5 line spacing. So it's very strict. They do have all the submissions are audited, so make sure you don't lose those easy points by just going outside of the rules of entry. There is one exemption to the 1.5 line spacing rule, and that's actually within tables. So within a table, you're allowed 1 line spacing as opposed to 1.5. That doesn't mean you fill up your whole submission with 30 pages of tables, because I don't think that'll be viewed quite as well by the judges and mentors. Vincent is probably nodding away there, doesn't want to see 30 pages of tables. A couple of main things to actually note on here is you need to actually include your business name, the category that you're actually entering. You need to state that you're actually entering the Victorian Tourism Awards on this page as well. But also it gives you the opportunity as well to actually put up there any past awards, any accreditation, or any other logos and things you can actually think of whether you're involved with. You can actually include those on your cover. So one of our mentors' tip, as a past judge, I've seen a winner in a category be marked down through the auditing process for incorrect line spacing or exceeding page numbers. In a tough category, this can often be the difference in winning. So be mindful that when you are doing these things that it is audited. Site inspections do occur for majority of your categories. There's only 2 categories where you don't have a site inspection, where a judge doesn't come out and actually look at your property. So that's for destination marketing and the individual submissions, so outstanding contribution, volunteers and young achiever. There are no points awarded for 4 categories, which are major festivals and events, specialised tourism services, new tourism development and business tourism, so there's no points. We do have some couple of tips in relation to the site inspections, but I think in terms of the sites, one of the most things is you have the judge for about 90 minutes out at your property. It's well worth making sure you keep to your times, as the judges who do come out actually probably have 3 or 4 site visits to do either in that day or back to back. So making sure that you are prepared for your site in visit is imperative. Show the judges your business plan that you've talked about within your submission, your OH&S, your marketing collateral that you've all actually referenced within your submission. It provides you that opportunity to actually show these things to them, and as Nicole and Kerry both mentioned, it's there really to verify and make sure that you actually do have these documents in place. So site visits, look, each of the individual questions are ranked.
Yes, Tom. Just a simple one, it might sound dumb, but please make sure all your staff know what's happening. There have been times when the judges have turned up and staff have got no idea who they are. So the whole team needs to be involved in what's going on, especially if you've got a larger business. It's critical.
So what are judges looking for? Financially well-managed sound business, evidence of strategic approach, demonstrated flair and innovation, awareness of your marketplace, industry knowledge, measurable goals and outcomes, passion and enthusiasm, well-written and presented submissions, but I think one of the most things they're looking for is honesty within your submissions. If for a particular reason you haven't reached a particular outcome or a measurement, don't hide it away at the bottom of your plan somewhere. Just don't try and bury it. It gives you an opportunity to actually talk about, why you didn't actually meet an outcome and what you're actually doing about it to actually improve your business or improve yourself. So use this opportunity to actually be as honest as you possibly can within your submission. Melinda?
Just also, one of the things that we've had come up in a few workshops is around making sure whoever's written the submission is there. So that doesn't matter if you externally contract someone, but it's great for them to be there as well as the business owners, for example. So sometimes judges may find that they turn up to a site visit and not only perhaps no one knew they were coming, but if the person who's actually hosting them isn't aware of the content of the submission, and that sometimes happens, particularly if they've outsourced it. So it's just good to be mindful of that, making sure that either the person who's hosting is very aware of what's in the submission, whether or not they wrote it, but it's just a good tip.
So just a bit of a judge's tip here. Judges will always look for that special element that sets one business out from the others, that quirky, innovative, special aspect that has the judge saying, wow, I really like to visit that place. So what do judges score well for? I think most of this is common knowledge, common sense, logical, succinct answers, charts and diagrams that explain at a glance. So it's all about relevance as well, not just plonking a chart and diagram in the text just because you've got a chart and diagram to use or a photograph. Make sure you are linking it back always to that question and the submission. Same within TripAdvisor quotes, make sure you are actually always linking it back to that particular question and referencing within the submission. Don't just plonk things in there randomly. Great ideas, innovation, quotes are always good. Measurement tools, this will come up throughout the presentation today, is how you're actually measuring and what are your outcomes, and we'll be talking about that a lot today. Judges score low for hard to read entries, meandering answers and waffle. Missed questions as part of a question. You'll notice a lot of the questions will have 2 or 3 parts to it. Make sure you actually answer every single part of it, not just leave bits off. I know one thing that most judges don't like is when they see a promising question 1 or 2 and they're thinking, oh, this is going to be a really good submission. I reckon this one's got a good chance of getting up, and then it falls away at the end, whether they've run out of time, they've rushed the last 3 questions. So just be mindful of that. Try and keep your passion up as you are going through and writing your submission. Each of the 5 questions is worth 20 points, so they're all equal weighted. So you need to keep that enthusiasm and that momentum up across all of the presentations. All our judges and mentors are actually volunteers. So be mindful when you are submitting your submissions in that they are able to be read relatively easily. They're actually not printed out. None of the submissions are printed out, so they are viewed online. So make sure that they are viewable online and easily read online as well, so that the judge is, when he is actually reading your submission, has a good time while reading it and it's not hard work for him. So that's one of the key tips I think that's come out from a couple of the sessions that we've run already. But also, just important note as well, judges and all mentors actually sign a confidentiality form as well. So you can be assured in the knowledge that they're not going to be expressing any of your discussions, any of your submissions outside. There's also a conflict of interest form. So if they're, for one reason, an events person who works for an events company won't judge an event category. So just be mindful that that's all in place, and it is all well above board. So hopefully you can go through the process with a bit of strength, knowing that won't happen. So mentor tip, the most common mistake entrants make is not properly answering the questions, and I think we've already touched on this already. Sometimes it's not the best business in a category that win, it's the business that has written the best submission and answered questions succinctly with passion. So remember, it is a submission-based award. Decide who the knowledge holders are. Elect a project champion if you can. It might just be the one of you in the organisation, so you're probably the champion. Probably the most important thing that we do recommend throughout this whole process is get someone outside of your organisation, someone from outside your business, to actually read your submission. Visit the Tourism Awards website for more support services, and I'll touch on that a bit later on as well. Just a bit of a rough diagram in terms of how you can go about setting out each question. You should actually do this for every single question. Don't look at the whole submission as one and go, okay, let's brainstorm it all at once. Break the questions down. Do it on an individual question basis. So read the question, identify the key areas, brainstorm your responses, put it away, brainstorm it again maybe a couple of days later, arrange your ideas, start drafting it, pulling it together, maybe sleep on it, read it again, edit it, and then use your mentor or use an external source to read over that particular question, and then continue that process for all 5 of the questions. So that's what we'll recommend doing.